Hare Krishna, Arjuna Sakha Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Could you please turn on your video, if possible?
Yeah, sure.
Am
I audible, visible?
Yes, Prabhu. Both are very clear, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Wonderful.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. We welcome all of you for the today's morning program, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. And today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Arjuna Sakha Prabhu, and he will enlighten us on Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 8th chapter, and texts 19 and 20. Over to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. So I welcome all of you. So let's start with Mangalacharan. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devi Saraswati Vyasam Tado Jayat Uduraye Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pango Langayate Girim Jatkrupatamaham Vande Sri Guru Dinatarine Shunyatam Sukatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridayantasto Avadrani Vibhunoti Sahutsrutam Nashtaprayeshu Avadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatir Uttama Shlokir Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityam Namaste Saraswata Deve Gaurvani Prachari Nirvishesha Shandavadi Paschatya Deshatari Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. All glories to Srimad Bhagavatam. All glories to Shankar Devotee. Hare Krishna. So we are reciting the verse 5.8.19 and 20 today. Thank you very much for sharing. And this verse number 19. Nimlochati ha Bhagavan Sakala. So we'll be just reciting this, reading this name only, or words only. It's very difficult for me to recite this verse. Nilmochati sets ha as Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, represent as Sun, Sakala Jagat of all the universe, Kesha, Khema Udaya, who increases the auspiciousness, Trai Atma, who consists of the three Vedas, Adya Api, until now, Mama, my, not, not. Mriga, Badhu, Nyashaha. This baby deer entrusted to me by its mother. Agachati has come back. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Else, when the sun rises, all auspicious things begin. Unfortunately, they have not begun for me. The sun god, is the Veda personified, but I am bereft of all the Vedic principle. That sun god is now setting. Yet the poor animal who trusted in me since its mother died has not returned. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. In Brahma Samhita 5.52, the sun is described as the eye of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yachakyuresha Sabita Sakala Grihana Raja Samasta Sura Murtir Asesha Teja. Yes, Jasagyaya Brahmati Sambrata Kala Chakro Govinda Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajam. As the sun arises, one should chant the Vedic mantra beginning with the Gayatri. The sun is the symbolic representation of eye of Supreme Lord. Maharaj Bharata lamented that all the sun was going to set. Due to the poor animal's absence, he could not find anything auspicious. Bharat Maharaj considered himself most unfortunate. For due to the animal's absence, there was nothing auspicious for him in the presence of the sun. Text 20. Apishwit, whether it will, Akrit Sukrutam, who has never executed any pious activities. Agatya, coming back, mom, to me. Sukhaya Shati, give pleasure. Harina Rajakumara, the deer who are just like a prince because of my taking care of it, exactly like a son. Vividha, various. Ruchira, very pleasing. Darshaniya, to be seen. Nija, own. Mrigadaraka, befitting the carp of the deer. Vinoda, by pleasing activities. And, Asantosham, the unhappiness. Swanam, of his own kind. Apanudam, driving away. Translation: the deer is exactly like a prince. The deer is exactly like a prince. When it will return, when will it again display its personal activities, which are going to be pleasing, so pleasing? When will it again pacify a wounded heart like mine? I certainly must have no pious assets, otherwise the deer would have returned by now. Out of the strong affection, the king accepted the small deer as if it were a prince. This is called moha. Due to his anxiety over the deer's absence, the king addressed the animal as though it were his son. Out of affection, anyone can be addressed as anything. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakhirunmilitam Jenam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaiham Dadati Shupadantikam Bande Aham Sri Guru Sri Jutapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavans Sri Rupam Shagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Idam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Shahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakha Nitansu He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhesh Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Panchatattvatmakah Krishna Bhaktarupa Sarupakam Bhakta Avataram Bhaktaksham Namami Bhakta Sattikam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitidavane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Pasatya Deshatarini Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for all your presence. So, this is a very, very dangerous situation for King Bharata because he is totally got attached to the small deer, right? And the consequences come to such a pass that even in this situation, the attachment to the Lord is minimized, and the attachment to the dear animal, the small animals, is maximized. This is the contradict to the Bhakti Yoga. There are many things that even I was reading this purport of this 7th verse. Very wonderfully, Prabhupada has very simplified it. Very simply, he has described. Prabhu, can you please help me sharing this 7th verse, Prabhu, 7 and 8?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, if you go back, let's have a very small recap before we go further. Very simple, but this is very powerful. And just to go to this purport, the law of nature in subtle ways unknown to us. Maharaj Bharata was great king, very advanced in devotional service. He had almost reached the point of loving service in the Supreme Lord. But even from the platform, he could fall down onto the material platform. Right? Oh, best of. Okay, I'll not read this sloka. The spiritual salvation and liberation from the material bondage must be worked out with great caution. This is the very, very important one. Spiritual salvation and liberation from the material bondage must be worked out with a great caution. Otherwise, a little discrepancy will cause one to fall down again into material existence. By studying the activities of Maharaj Bharata, we can learn the art of becoming completely freed from all material attachment, as it will be revealed in the latter verse. Now, there's the very important points that I want to highlight. And next, can you please help me with verse 8, purport of 8? Yeah. This is the very important one, how Prabhupada has emphasized on this. From this, we can understand how we can be very cautious in executing our spiritual duties by observing the rules and regulations and regularly chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. If we neglect doing this, we'll eventually fall down. We must rise early in the morning, bath, attend Mangala worship the deities, chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, study the Vedic literature, and follow all the rules prescribed by acharyas and the spiritual masters. If we deviate from this process, we may fall down, even though we may be very highly advanced. So this is so important, so important. That's why Prabhupada has mentioned given the process A, B, C, D. A for association, B for book reading, that is Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam, and Bhagavad Gita, and all the scriptures. C for chanting regularly the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and D, depending upon the diet, prasadam, not on other things, on sacrificed, on without offering to Lord. The simple A, B, C, D process. And this A, B, C, D process is so powerful that it will give us the empowerment to always stay attached to the Lord. Otherwise, King Kulashekara mentioned that Padam Padam Jat Vipadam, Padam Padam Jat Vipadam. Each and every step in this metal world is full of vipada, full of danger. Just like mines, right? Right, mines. If you have gone any place like Chhattisgarh, particularly in the place called, what is the place? Bastar. Have you heard about this word, Bastar? This place, the name of the place is called Bastar. And there's such a danger. That means anybody going on the road of that Bastar in particular villages, particular areas, the mine can blast anything. And that is the biggest danger for all the CRPF as well as the Jawans, right? Even today. And similarly, we can relate that situation with our daily life, particularly the life of a devotee, life of a sadhaka. Padam Padam Jat Vipada. And here we can see what is the basic principle of devotional service, the bhakti. The definition of bhakti says very simple thing. Sarvapadi vinirmuktam tatparartena nirmalam. Rishikena Rishikesa Sevanam Bhakti Vichat. The very first thing Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says in chapter 2, Trigunya Vishaya Veda Dashya Punya Bhavarcha. The very first thing. Now, Rupa Goswami has elaborated this, how to get rid of all the upadhis. Sarvupadhi binirmukta. You need to get rid of all, need to get liberated from all the designation. And here, if you go minutely, what is the cause of this? If you go to the very deep background of King Bharata, what he says that demonstrate a quality of Rajasic quality. What is the quality of a Raja? Whoever comes to his surrender, he has to protect by any means. He has to protect by any means. If you remember this, the story of Satyabrata, I think, Satyabrata, King Satyabrata, in the ascendant of King Ram, Bhagwan Ram, what he did, a dove came to his surrender and he had to give the entire body, he has to cut his body in pieces and to give the weightage. Have you, I think, let me narrate the story. Once upon a time, the king Satyabrata was sitting in his throne, and all of a sudden, a hunter, there's a dove came, the haunted, the injured dove came and fall into his lap. And the king thought that this dove has come to my surrender. Now he thought, this is the surrender, I must protect the dove, I cannot give him away. And after that, sometime, the hunter came and demanded for the dove. But in this case, the king has made it mind that since the dove has come to my surrender, I cannot give away this dove to you. In lieu of that, you ask me whatever you want. I can give you, you want meat, I can give you other animals like your goat or maybe sheep or maybe any animal that you want, I'll give it. But I'll not be giving you this bird because this has come to my surrender. Now, after that, what happens? The hunter totally denied. He never agreed. He didn't agree that he has to compromise with dove because this is my dove and I must take it. Without this, I cannot move on. I cannot go. So what happens? The king becomes so attached now at his promises. And this is the dharma, Raja dharma. Whoever comes to your shelter, you must protect him. But you see, Raghukula Riti Sada Chaliyai, Prana Jai, Par Bachana Na Jai. This is the principle they live in. Prana Jai, Par Bachana Na Jai. Whatever word that we have given, we can give our prana, that life, but in order to protect our Bachana, words. So thereafter, the king says that I cannot give you, but you take in lieu of this, you can demand anything that you like. But now the hunter is very clever. He says he knows that king will not be able to, he will not agree. That's what he did. He demanded the meat from his body, the king's body. And since he has given the promise that whatever you demand in lieu of this bird, I'm ready to give you. You want wealth, I'll give you. You want treasury, I'll give you treasury. You want people, I'll give you people, whatever you want. And now the hunter says, I'll be requiring only meat. So instead of this bird, in lieu of the bird, give me the meat of your body. And I don't want much. I want you give me the weight of the bird, and that much meat I'll be requiring from your body. Immediately, what happened? The king okayed, they agreed, and finally started cutting from his thick. And there he started putting one side in this weighing machine. One side he put the bird, and other side he started putting his own fleshes. But he must be surprised. The more he is cutting the fleshes from his body, the weight of the bird is increasing. And finally, he has to put on himself in the throne, in the weight machine, in the balance machine. And what happened thereafter? Finally, the hunter is nobody other than Lord Shiva. He came to taste him, to give a test for Satyavrata. And now, this is the symptom of a king, Prana Jaya, and particularly this is the Raghukuta. Now, King Bharata, being a king, what happens? Though he renunciated the kingdom, everything, but one thing very clearly demonstrated, he could not give off the characteristics of Raja, of the king, Rajasic Guna. And what Krishna says, Sarvapadi Binirmuktam, Rupa Goswami says, and Krishna says, Trigunya Vishaya Veda Nashadgunya Bhavarja. Get rid of this from the three mode of influence of the three mode of nature. And the king Bharata is still influenced by the one mode of nature, that is the Rajasic mode. And here Prabhupada says, what happens when you progress in devotional service. When one progress in devotional service, the one character is bound to comes spontaneously. What is the number one character that comes out spontaneously? That is compassion. Compassion for others. Titikshavaha karunika. Titikshava is tolerance, and karunika is the compassion. Suhrudam sarvabhutana. Krishna says Suhrudam, and Advishta sarvabhutana. Maitra karuna evacha. Karuna, again karuna. This is the quality they get spontaneously come out from the devotee's heart. And out of that compassion, what happened? One may think that means I should be taking care of this bird, I should be taking care of the animal, I should take care of the tree, I should take care of the boy, the girl, the human being, the society, and started, you must be thinking about you are expanding your charitable activities, right? But Prabhupada given a very, very, very simple but very powerful seed of thought to all of us. What is that? Jibedaya Nameruchi Vaishnava Shiva. This is the three pillar of the Sampradaya, right? Our Sampradaya. But when you talk about Jibedaya, what is the real hita? That is, what is the real benefit, kalyan, for a human being or any animal? And Prabhupada says, it is not the physical body you should be attached or maybe give or compassionate about. It is not the physical body that you will be giving charitable activity, extending your charitable help or help to that particular animal or bird or whatever it be. But it is the very basic foundation that you should be thinking about uplifting or enlightening or giving the instrument in uplifting the soul, not the body. And even in Bhagavad Gita 6.5, Lord Krishna says, Uddharet Atmanam 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 Avashade. Atmano hi Atmanor Bandhu, Atmano Ripuratmana. Here it is very important to uplift your own self and also taking care of not to fall down in your own life. Na Atmanam Avashade. That is, primary duty is to uplift yourself. But another primary duty is to protect yourself from falling down. But here we can see that King Bharata, because of his attachment to the Rajasic guna, because the Rajasic qualities, the mode of passion, is still deeply instilled or exhibited in his life, in his heart and soul. What happens? Because of that qualities, he started giving shelter to the people, to this deer. Another very important point here, you can say, the mental speculation. There are two wonderful cases here we can compare. Have you heard about our great Acharya? What is his name? Sridhar Swami. All of you heard about Sridhar Swami?
Yes.
And Prabhupada has quoted Sridhar Swami many times in his narration. Many times. Sridhar Swami used to be from a very small village in Odisha. It's called Dhenkanal. And this place is basically a small village, but Sridhar Swami is considered to be the fullest among all the villagers. Right? He will be going, his mother would be asking him to go and take that mustard oil from the local shop, and he will come with his hand, and the mustard oil will fall down on the entire way. Such kind of foolishness. But a great things that was having is a deep faith on the Lord. Deep faith on the Lord. Once upon a time, one day, what happens? His wife died, but they were blessed with a boy. And even and what happened? One day he was sitting how to take care of the boy, and a lizard from the roof came down and fall down, and the mother lizard died. And immediately what happened? The baby lizard was sprayed by a small insect. Immediately, an insect came to the mouth of his baby lizard, and immediately the baby lizard grabbed it. And he thought, what a great arrangement of the Lord. What a great arrangement of the Lord. Vyavasthitanam Bhagavan Satam Pati. He takes care of each and everybody, each and every entity. Why should I be worried? Why should I be worried about my own self and my body? Now what happened? Immediately he called upon all these villages and handed over the kid to the villagers, and one very near one was very eager to adopt this child. And immediately after giving this, the Sridhar Swami went out from the village, and he started having deep faith, unflinching faith on the Lord. And he started he engaged in the devotional service thereof. And from where we can see, that means one side, having faith, that means Krishna will take care of each and every one. Kirata Hunda Andhra Pulinga Pulkasha Vibhora Kansa Javanam Kasade. Right? Everybody, whoever, be it Mongoloids, be it Chinese, be it Francis, be it Iranian, Indian from Andhra Pradesh, from wherever it comes from, whoever entity, each and every living entity being protected by the Lord himself. And Sridhar Swami has got this conviction, yeah, Lord is going to protect my child, and he is there, he is omnipresent, he is everywhere, and he can protect any of us. Why should I be worried? Why should I be worried? And unless you give up the full faith, unless you give up the anxiety and worries, it will not be progressing you can make advancement in spiritual life. That's what it is been described by Prabhupada in this. So what happens? Thereafter we can see, whereas on contrary, King Bharata, he is given off everything. At the age of just 24, he has given up the entire kingdom, handed over the kingdom to his brothers, right? All the nine Navajogendra, that's when Kavi, went away for the service of the Lord. And the kingdom was distributed among the 91 brothers. But thereafter, what happens? After giving off all these things, but still he got attached to the very small thing, because he was thinking as a king, I'm still at the back of the mind, or maybe somewhere in the subconsciousness, he was thinking, It is the duty of a king to take care of the people who surrender. Unfortunately, what happened here? The deer, while at the time of death, the mother deer never given any responsibility to the baby deer. But still, at the speculative mind, what the king thought, as if the mother deer is looking at him and asking for shelter. That's a great thing. That's a compassion, great compassion. Out of the great compassion, any human being could have done. But now the deep attachment to the deer has come to such a pass. The king thought he is like a prince. He is the prince in my life now. He's the king. He is going to give me all the pleasure. He's going to give me all the pleasure with his small activities. Like you must have seen this boy, or maybe if parents newly born, how they enjoy, how we used to enjoy that, right? Each and every step of the boy or girl, the son and daughter, each and every moment that we enjoy that. The moment he speaks or she speaks, utters mama, papa, we started enjoying. We cannot live even for a single fraction of time because of this attachment. Here comes the responsibility, attachment, affection, everything. But when it comes to all these stuffs, here it is a very precarious and dangerous situation for King Bharata. Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna in chapter 2 warns all of us. He given a warning because the Kali Yuga, particularly at the age of Kali, it is very dangerous. And each and every moment that is glittery, each and everywhere you will find glittery. A wonderful hoarding, the giving this best of the best, that means attractive masses. What happens? We catch that through our eyes. We catch that senses through our ear, and we get attracted towards that. And there is a possibility that we may get attracted on something that is very harmful to us. So what Prabhupada says, your spiritual progress is as weakest as your the chain. What happens? Say, suppose there is a chain, the golden chain, and one of the hook of the chain is very weak. The strength of the chain determines the hook, the weakest link determines the strength of the chain. Similarly, our senses, one of the senses out of the six, can be having a weak point. And even the moment we neglect our spiritual services, immediately what happens? Maya will come and grab us. Krishna bhuliya ji bhogavancha kare. The moment we think of bhoga and vancha, immediately pashate maya tarijja putiyat. The Maya will fully aware. Maya lavesha gunamayi mama maya duratte. She knows where is the prey. Just grab it. And immediately what she will do? She will throw the net and it will be grabbed. And Prabhupada says, be careful. Be careful, like you are as strong as your 16 rounds. Your strength will be determined by your 16 rounds. If you're chanting, you are safe. Otherwise, padam padam nat vipadam. Padam padam jat vipadam. And this is a very dangerous situation. And if you look at the Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, what Krishna says, Dhyayato Vishayan Punsam Sangam Teshu Upachayat. The moment we get attracted, captured something in our mind, what happened? Dhyayato Vishayan Punsam, something in the material that we just imagine or maybe captured that in our mind. Sangam, we start developing the attachment and association for that. Sangat Sanchayate Kamat. And from that association, what happened? The desire will come up, the crop up. And if it is not fulfilled, what will happen? The krodha will start. Krodhat laboti shammoha. And this is the situation. And if it is achieved, you will get more greediness. Suppose you captured something in your mind and you started thinking that I'll be requiring this, and fortunately or unfortunately you got it. Now what happened? You are satisfied. But when you are satisfied, that is again a dangerous situation because you'll be demanding more. more and more and more. Now what happened? The greed will come. Along with the krodha, if it is not fulfilled, it is krodha. If it is fulfilled, then what happened? The greed will come. And both greed and anger both develops the moha. Krodhat, kamat krodhat, krodhat laboti shammoha. And the moha, the situation of King Bharata is the moha, attachment, deep affection, moha. And the moha is such that in lieu of just to protect that moha, he is ready to give up the devotional service for which he has gave everything, gave off everything. You just think what kind of elevated position he was in. He was the Chakravarti Samrat of the entire universe, right? And entire earth. By the time India was the center of all the ruling center for all the earth, right? And he was the king of that kingdom. And still he has given up just to get devotional service. But what happens? This is a very compromising situation. Now just think about our own life. We also just think those who are, for example, we all get associated with this ISKCON, get associated with the devotees. And whenever we get associated, what happens? We have to give up something. And this is austerity, right? We do have to give up our enjoyment. We have to give up our sleep. We have to give up our many, many things that we've been enjoying for a long time, right? And in this situation, what happens? And you have the determination that we will be focusing. My primary focus will be on Krishna consciousness. And for that, you may have to lose. You don't have the interest to generate money. You don't have to interest to progress in your own profession. That is very much seen. But what happened? Suppose you have given off this. Many Prabhus in our temple also, they've given off their high-paying profession, very lucrative profession at the mid of the very peak of their career, right? Peak of their life. And what happened? They started engaging in Krishna consciousness. But suppose some things you have given up in order to get engaged in devotional service. And like Jada Bharat, like King Bharata, you started engaging in any particular attachment. And that attachment, we call it the designation. And that is very dangerous situation. All your tapasya will be gone. And what is the things that very dangerous thing is the Vaishnava Aparat. Even for that resignation, it becomes so dangerous because you cannot control, we cannot see ourselves getting hot of our ego. That is the flash that give you to the dangerous situation. Let me give an example. What happens? Vaishnava Aparat comes in the form of many ways. It comes in many ways, right? But suppose anything that comes up, for example, you are serving, and a senior devotee, senior Prabhuji says or Mataji says, Prabhu, you are doing wrong way. What will happen? We have been serving for a long time. That means doing all the seva. But what happens? Immediately something crops up. Yeah, oh my God. How come the Prabhuji and Mataji point out my mistake? How can he insult me? It is insulting for me. He's pointing mistake of mine. And immediately what happens? You are creating trouble for yourself. The Vaishnava Aparat immediately picked up. And that is the danger. One day I remember very, very, very emotional experience. One of my Guru Bhai, Shyamanand Prabhu, and myself, we went to pick up our Guru Maharaj, who was coming from Vrindavan, sorry, Mayapur. He was coming from Mayapur. And I was staying in Delhi by that time. And we went to railway station. And it was around 12:30 in the night. And the train got delayed for 15-20 minutes, and we were standing in the platform. And the platform was very mostly because the railway, the platform because Guru Maharaj was to get down from the train in a very isolated station. So this station, Ghaziabad station, this station was very lonely by the time. There was very less number of people coming. So Prabhuji and myself were standing in the platform, and immediately Samanand Prabhu started crying and sobbing. And I see the tears rolling down and he started crying like a baby. And I know Samanand Prabhuji very, very, very emotional. He's a highly acoustic devotee and always engaged in Krishna Seva. And I could understand his service, or maybe his crying and sobbing could be because he must be remembering Krishna. But still, I shook him, Prabhu, what happened? Why you are getting emotional and crying? He says, Prabhu, he looked up towards, and he pointed his finger towards the high voltage electric high tension wire that is going above the platform where the train get connection, right? Electricity. And Prabhuji looked at the high tension wire and say, Prabhu, can you see the high tension wire, 11,000 volt? Yes, Prabhu, I can see that. I was just looking at. Suppose, what if, Prabhu, I'm just thinking, what if somebody that touch the wire, what will happen? It will take 1 second or maybe less than a second to kill himself, or maybe he will turn into ashes, right? And this, however, the tension wire, the electric wire, is very, very beneficial as well as the dangerous if it is not used properly. It is highly beneficial because it is the instrument in making the train run. But whereas in lieu of instead of that, if you are uh, if you are using wrongly, or if you're not using properly, what happens? It'll burn you to ashes. And I'm thinking, Prabhuji, our life is also like that. And he started crying. Our life is, the moment he says our life is like that, he started crying like a baby now. The cry became louder. Prabhu, I told him, Prabhu, hold on. I hugged him and said, Prabhu, he says, our life is like that. The devotee's life is, devotional service is like. The Vaishnava is like the high tension wire. If you are using properly, if you are taking the shelter from him, that can liberate and give you the Krishna prema, unlimited pleasure of Krishna prema. But if you, a little mistake from that, a very small and fraction of mistake, that can turn our life into ashes. And it will never leave anywhere. And it will be fallen like as if someone touches the high tension wire, and it will be falling down. And this is the CO 100% sure shot to fall down in life if you are doing Vaishnava Aparadh. So in our life also, we should be very, very careful about this. When you talk about this, the Vaishnava Aparadh has been very, very, very immensely powerful to give strength to other Aparadh. This is the first Aparadh that gives strength to how many? All 9 other Aparadhs. But it begins with the Vaishnava Aparadh. And Prabhupada wants us to be very, very, very cautious about this particular thing. And all the Shastras, Acharyas, they are giving the note, the caution to all of us to take care of this Vaishnava Aparadh. Very, very important things. What happened? Jagadanand Pandit, he wanted to go to Vrindavan. Chaitanya, he asked 4 times to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu, I want to go to Vrindavan. I'd like to go to Vrindavan, have darshan of Radha Damodar, have darshan of Bhake Bihari, right? But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, no, you cannot go there. First time, second time, third time, fourth time, he always refused. Why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu refused someone going to a places like Vrindavan? Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knew that this Prabhuji has got a bad mouth. Whatever he says something and he offends the Vaishnava. And this is very dangerous for his devotional service. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what happened? He was very well knew that particularly if you are giving any offenses, if you are doing any offenses against a Vaishnava, particularly from Vrindavan or Jagannath Puri or any Tirtha, that would be very dangerous. So restricted him, and he did given permission to go to Vrindavan. Now what happened? He approached Swarup Damodar. But from Swarup Damodar, he got assurance, yes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave permission, but with one condition. This is the only condition. He will be visiting Vrindavan, get this lotus dust of Vrindavan. He'll go to the temple, visit, but he should never meet anybody other than Sanatana Goswami. Nobody other than Sanatana Goswami. And what happened? He went to Vrindavan from Jagannath Puri, and after many days they had together, and Sanatana Goswami was arranging one day a feast for him. So that by that time Radha Madan Mohan was already established, and he went to Madan Mohan temple, and he brought some fruits, the offering given by devotees, rice, fruits, and everything, and he was coming back. And by that time, what happened? The turban, Sanatan Goswami were wearing a turban, the beautiful turban, and Jagadanand Pandit could see that the beauty of the turban, and Sanatan Goswami coming from the temple towards him, towards the ashram, and he could see the Sanatan Goswami wearing the turban, and the turban is looking good. And he very well knew that Sanatan Goswami is living through Madhukari, and how come he got a wonderful turban, and that looks like very costly as well. And he asked Sanatan, Prabhu, what did you, this, first he appreciated, and he acknowledged the beauty of this turban. He says, the turban is looking very good, but from where you got it? Sanatan Goswami says, somebody from this mutt has given. And he very well knew that this mutt is very Mayavadi. And immediately there was a stick on the floor. He picked up the stick and threw it towards Sanatan Goswami. And it hit Sanatan Goswami's head. Because he was so deeply attached to the principle that he could not tolerate. And how come you being a sannyasi accept the turban of a Mayavadi? That is unacceptable. And immediately he threw a stick over the head of Sanatan Goswami. It hit Sanatan Goswami's head. And now what happened? Sanatan Goswami came running and he hugged Jagadanand Pandit. What happens? The story cutting short. So Vaishnava Aparad is very dangerous. But here Sanatana Goswami knew that this is Aparad. But he very well knew he is deeply attached to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and if I feel insulted, that means be very dangerous for him. That's why out of compassion, he hugged him. And he, instead of chastising him, what happened? He appreciated. He says, your attachment to the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is exemplary. Your adherence to the principle of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching is really, really highly appreciated. And because of the attachment to the principle and teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he could not tolerate the turban that I am wearing. And going forward, I'll throw away the turban. So this is the Vaishnava Aparad, and Vaishnava Aparad also in a higher dimension. But many Vaishnavas are not like Sanatana Goswamis. Even small insult to anybody is very dangerous. So this is a sure way, definite way of falling down. And all the tapasya, the austerity, the penance, the services that we are doing may go headway, the southwards. So Prabhupada, all the acharyas, all the Guru Maharaj, all our guide, mentors, everybody is saying, so be cautious about this. And we should take care of the Sanatan lotus feet of the Lord. With this, with a very wonderful verse for a devotional service. Samasritai padapallabam prabham mahat padam punya jasho murare bhava ambado vasya param padam padam jat vipadam tisham. That we should take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. And with the shelter, what happens? The moment you are taking the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, the metal world, which is full of vipada, full of danger, will be shrink to this, like what? Like the the Bashya Padam Param. That means the water hold the water being beholded by the footprint of a calf, and you'll feel like this the smallest tiny. In the metal ocean will be looking like tiny elements, and you can cross the metal ocean. And Krishna wants very beautifully. Krishna given the instruction to Uddhava, and this instruction is for all of us, right? Hrudeha adyam sulabam sudurlabam plabam sukalpam guru karnadharam maya anukulena nivishyate iditam jupuma na taret sa atmaha. Those who do not cross this metal ocean, he is a suicidal. He is doing suicidal. He is suiciding himself. Atmaha. He is doing atmahatya. Who? And Prabhupada has given the instruction, is given in full practice to all of us. Nurudeha adyam sulabam sudarlavam. We are given the body, and Prabhupada recognized it. We are given the body. Now utilize of this body, come to the devotional service. He has created a platform called ISKCON, right? This is the platform we can. Now, Hrudeha adyam sulabam sudurlavam. Now, sudurlavam, plabam sukalpam. And this is the most wonderful boat to cross the metal world, metal ocean. Now, what happens? We require a guru. Plabam sukalpam, guru karnadharam. You'll be requiring a captain. And Prabhupada has given a platform so that we'll be having a guru, take the shelter of a guru. And ISKCON is the amazing shelter that been given to us, and where you can take the shelter of a guru. Guru Karnadharam. Maya anukulena nivishyate iditam. And what happens? What is the anukul? The favorable wind is required. And what Krishna says, all the Shastra, the scriptures, the masses of the Lord, these are all what? The favorable, like the favorable wind to cross the metal world. And Prabhupada is so merciful that he has given a wonderful platform to all of us so that we can assemble together, get together, and also we discuss the scriptures, read the scriptures, glorify Lord, glorify the scriptures, listen from Bhagavatam, listen from Mahabhagavat, great acharyas, and listen from Srimad Bhagavatam, from Srila Prabhupada himself, and releases the nectar of the Granthas. And what happens? And we can liberate from this three mode of nature. Thereafter, we can get rid of the upadhi shuddha, sarvopadi vidirmukta. And thereafter, the real devotional service will start and life will begin. The real question, who am I, will crop up from the mind, and the real devotional service will start. But unfortunately, those who are, after having all these, being engaged, coming to the ISKCON platform, coming to this Guru Ashraya, coming to the listening of, developing the test for this Srimad Bhagavatam, still we are doing some aparad. What will happen? We are doing suicide for ourselves. And not the suicide for the life. If you are doing suicide for this life, probably there is a possibility. But suiciding for the atmaha. You are doing hatya and you are doing hinsa for your own atma. So Prabhupada Kashyas makes us very importantly, his very, very request to all of us, even his last deathbed, even his deathbed, at the last moment, what he says, be careful about your association. Be very particular about your association. Never, 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 never get into the bad association. This is the last message of Srila Prabhupada. And we should be careful about that, so that we can stay protected. We don't have that our own capability to protect ourselves, quote unquote. We don't have our own capability, our capacity to protect ourselves. The only protection comes from the mercy of the Guru, mercy from Vaishnava, and mercy from the Krishna, Radha Krishna. And in order to get the mercy from all these three elements, three systems, Parampara, Guru, and Krishna, we need to be cautious, be careful, and we should think ourselves as Trinada Pishanichena Tarura Pisha, with humility, with utmost vinamrata, This is the otherwise there is no way out, no way. We may fall down, and we may get captivated by the Maya. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for this. Thank you very much to Prabhupada for giving us such wonderful nectar so that we can learn and be cautious about this. Hare Krishna Prabhujis and Matajis, thank you very much. And I request if you have anybody to add anything, please, most welcome. And if you have any questions, I'll try to answer. Hare Krishna Prabhujis and Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for very wonderful and very instructions to be careful in daily life. Like the way you started with how Bharat Maharaj, how much his attachment was increasing to the deer, but at the same time getting like attachment was getting decreased towards the Lord. And then you have given the very nice formula of ABCD. And King Kulsekara is saying like padam padam et vipadam. So every step is the dangerous in this soul. And then you said the basic principle of devotion is like we have to engage all our senses in the service of the Rishikesa. So and get rid of all the designations. But here it is, even though Bharat Maharaj you got, but still his kingly qualities were there. That is the reason like he was attached to that there you mentioned. And then a very nice example like how the kings used to rule, how they used to protect. So you have given the nice example of Satyavartamani with the like dove and the hunter example, sorry, story. And then as you progress in bhakti, so compassion increases, and then that's where like Jivadaya comes. So you have nicely given what does it mean Jivadaya. It's not just take, I mean, it's not taking care of the physical things, so it is uplifting the Jiva or soul. And for that, our primary duty is we have to uplift ourselves and we have to protect that uplifting. And nicely given the example of Sridhar Swami, how he has deep faith in the Lord, who can protect and who can take care of all the jivas. And unless we give up anxiety or fear, we cannot practice bhakti. So, and then how Bharata Maharaj got attached to the deer, like thinking he is a prince. And then you have mentioned very nice example that the strength of the chain is the weakest link. So similarly, like we have all our senses, so all our strength is the weakest sense, and Maya attacks that particular weakest sense. So we get it. And we have to protect ourselves by chanting every day minimum of 16 rounds with sincerity and seriously. And how we like you mentioned about how the desire, the other vision pops up. So desire gets fulfilled, agreed, otherwise anger and then moha, all these things like you have very nice example. And I mean, after that, you have given very nice example, like very striking for me. And how I have to be careful is the 11,000 volts wire for the train. So, like you mentioned, the Vaishnava Aparadh. So, if we use that wire properly, so we it will be beneficial in our devotion service. If we misuse it, like by doing the Vaishnava Aparadh, we will be burnt in reactions. I mean, that is the very striking point for me, and I have to be very careful. And then you have given the example, I mean, story of Jagananda Prabhu uh, asking Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to get the permission to go to Vrindavan, then later with the Sanatana Goswami that insulting. Then Krishna gives instructions to the all these like things, and then as Sri Prabhupada has given us the very nice platform of ISKCON to take the shelter of Guru, and how we have to be careful and how we have to utilize it that boat to reach our final destination. And one more point you have mentioned is Vaishnava Prada is not just like suicide of the body; it is the suicide of the soul. So we have to be very, very careful. And as Srila Prabhupada as a last instruction, he said, be careful and be in the association, proper association. And at the end, we mentioned we don't have capacity to protect ourselves. It is the mercy of Guru and Krishna so that we get protected in Krishna consciousness. Very nicely, like you have given Roji, like very, very, thank you so much. Really grateful. And I think I need to keep repeating every day this part.
Very well, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Thank you,
And
sir.
Prabhu, I'll be requiring 2 more minutes, 3 more minutes.
Yes, Prabhu.
And before that, do you have any questions?
Hare Krishna devotees, lives are already unmuted, so you can unmute and ask any questions.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams.
Hare
Thanks
Krishna
for
Mataji.
excellent class, Prabhu. I have no questions, but I wanted to tell that I understood the real meaning of Sarvopadi Vinurmukta today, Prabhu. Really, thank you very much, Prabhu.
Thank you very much, Mataji.
Dandavat.
And today, thank you very much, Mataji. Today we are celebrating the Akshat Tritiya. And you know what is Akshat Tritiya, meaning of Akshat Tritiya, particularly in the service of Lord means? Today we are also studying the Chandan Jatra, right? From today, the Lord Jagannath will be given 1.5 kg of Chandan every day for 1.5 months. 1.5 kilo of Chandan every month, every day for 1.5 months. So why the Chandan is so important, and why Chandan is very, very pious to Lord Krishna? Why? And I was reading one of the scriptures here. Chandan is definitely a very beloved, and it is the importance. There are so many glories of Chandan. But one thing that struck me very, very important and very touched my heart is why Lord Krishna loves Chandan, particularly the tree, because it has got four very important characteristics. It is the Chandan, the tree. Chandan tree, if you have seen it in Nilgiri Parbat or maybe somewhere in here, this particular belt is full of Chandan, right? So Moolam, sorry. So it has got four distinctive points. That is Moolam Bhunjan Gai. Kushamani Bhuyasi, that means Brahmai, right? I'm not going to the sloka now. There are four important points. The Moolam means the root, towards the root of this Chandan tree is inhabited by a very poisonous snake, right? Very poisonous snake. And this at the Sut waterpan surrounding this Chandan are all the Brahmanas. They're surrounded by the trees, right? Bees, honeybees, they're totally surrounding this. Honeybees are always circumferring the Chandan. The first is at the root, this poisonous snake. Towards the surrounding are fully by Brahmara. Third is the Prabhangai, Sikham Prabhangai. Prabhangai means the monkeys, right? Third is monkeys. And Sikharam Bihangai. At the top, who will be exhibiting? The Bihanga, the birds are living. So at the root, it is inhabited by snakes, surrounded by Brahmara, the honeybees. In the suit, the monkeys are jumping and doing all these notorious activities, and the Sikharam at the top, the birds are living. So, what are the characteristic of the four things? Number one is the Sarpa is full of poison. It represents the jealous. Number one, it represents jealous. Number two, the Brahmara, that means the honeybees, it represents the Lampata, the chief, the cheater, because it cheats and take away the honey, the fragrance from this, without asking, it take away the fragrance from the flower. So it is a cheater, it is a thief. Third is Prabhangai, means the monkey. It has got no control and he can harm you anytime, any left, right, he can do anything wrong, right? Is nothing but harmful to you. And Sikharam Bihangai in the top, the Bihang, the bird are nothing but the selfish people, the selfish creature. Because once the fruit is gone from that bird, they will go away. They will take away. Even in Gopijan also given the example of bird, the Swarthi birds, the Brahman after Purohit, they've given the example. Like the Bihanga is like, the bird is like the representation of the selfish mentality. So first is jealous mentality. Second is the cheating mentality, cheating propensity. Third is the hankering mentality, harmful mentality. And fourth is the selfish mentality. These four things are inhabited by, take shelter of whom? The Chandan, the tree. But still, it never get touches. And all these bad qualities never get into or may influence the Chandan. That's why Lord Krishna likes the Chandan. And second thing, even the axe that cut the Chandan, the tea, even The thing, what it is, the moment it touches the tree, it gives the fragrance to the ass, right? That is the beauty of Chandan. And that's why it is very, very beloved to the Lord. Hare Krishna. So I just wanted to just highlight the quality of Chandan so that you can understand and offer the Chandan to the Lord throughout the month and start from today, Akshaya Tritiya. And I wish each and all of you a happy Chandan Jatra and Akshaya Tritiya. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dhanapranams. The comment by Prema Priya Radhika Mataji. Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you so much for the wonderful class on this auspicious day of Akshaya Tritiya of how to avoid Vaishnava Aparadh to Vaishnavas as they are real wealth by those association, by whose association only can we progress in our bhakti. Thank you.
Thank you, Hare Krishna Prema Priya Mataji. Thank you very much for your nice and wonderful comment. Hare Krishna, it inspired me.
So, like one question is related to the Vaishnava Aparadh.
Yes,
So,
Prabhu.
like when we do the services or when we are in temple, so most of things like we take it as granted, saying like suppose example is maybe let me stop.